The San Francisco 49ers are 8-4 in the driver's seat for a playoff spot. What on earth did we learn from Monday's win? Steph Sanchez and I will break all that down and more right after this. I'm Jason Aponte. That's Steph Sanchez. This is the Bully Ball Podcast on the Gold Standard Podcast Network, the only 49ers podcast that is going to lead Thanksgiving in Y La Novia questions. Steph, how are you?
Yeah, that's crazy intro. I'm good. I'm good. Doing better these days. And hey, with 49ers winning their last two, I mean, I think we all got to feel pretty good about that. It's a Victory Tuesday today. It's a new one.
Yeah, and for anybody that doesn't get what I was putting down, in Latin households on Thanksgiving, there's generally a older Latin woman, older Latin gentleman who is going to ask you "y la novia," meaning and your girlfriend if you show up alone, right? But it would be messed up if I told that woman, "Doesn't your husband have a side piece?" Or a whole other family or something like that, right? So just mind your business. Like, Latin households get contentious on Thanksgiving, so that's where the clapbacks come from. Maybe that's why I'm so ready to go at anybody who kind of talks crazy to me, because I've been dealing with it my whole life. But Steph, since we're talking about Thanksgiving, what are some of your favorite dishes, go-to dishes on Thanksgiving?
Well, I love my mom's turkey. Like, my mom makes the best turkey you can ever get. It's not dry at all, like no chance of that whatsoever.
White or dark meat?
She makes the whole freaking.
No, but
turkey.
what do you prefer?
I don't care. I don't care. I'd
Wow.
take it, and then pan con pavo. Days after, we cooking. So I do love that, but it has to be my mom's turkey. And then for sides, I actually have come to really like sweet potato casserole with the marshmallows. Maybe you call that a dessert. Like, sometimes you use that as a side, sometimes it's a dessert. But man, that is so good right there. And also I love a pecan pie. So
yeah. And for the people that don't know, Steph and I are the Latin representation on the network, right? Steph, you're
the
from
DEI hires, I think.
Yeah, we are the DEI hires. What is your background?
I'm Salvadorian.
Salvadorian. Okay, soy Boricua, Puerto Rican. Shout out to Bad Bunny. So for me, on Thanksgiving, we don't do turkey and stuffing and all that stuff. Like, it's pernil and arroz con condole and patelitos and pateles. Like, I've been to other traditional Thanksgivings, but it's not cranberry sauce or none of that ever really. So yeah, I don't know.
Stuffing?
I guess yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like stuffing. Yeah, like
No,
I'm good off that, right? Like, my Thanksgiving consists of 4 or 5 meals, loud salsa music and bachata y dembow, while we're huddled around the TV watching football, and there's a bunch of older Latin people playing dominoes and yelling at each other. It's a great time. Literally Thanksgiving, that's what it's about. But before we get into everything with the 49ers, I just want to ask you, how did you do this week in our fantasy league? Because I took the big L by not starting Jameis Winston over Lamar Jackson. Thanks a lot, Lamar.
Dude, I had Lamar in one league, and yeah, I've been on a losing streak, and I think there's a correlation there. Also, Hampton has been hurt in that one, and I feel like I've lost every week since Hampton's been out, which hasn't been great. But in our league, Jay, I took a win, and I really needed that because I was starting to slide in that league just a bit as well, just because of all the injuries my team's going through. I got another injury. Kamara's out now, so
yep. Devin Neal is a big pickup tonight. Dump the fab.
Not in our league.
Well, I mean, it's dynasty, but I'm just saying, in redraft, I'm dumping the fab on him, man.
Oh yeah. And that makes sense. But at least I got the win. But you said you lost?
Yes, I lost because Jameis Winston outscored Lamar Jackson. Who could have seen that coming? But if you know, you know. The app that we play our Dynasty League on, and I play all my leagues in, Sleeper. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance at 1,000 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Pick stats like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to 1,000 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right, and you could win big. And for a limited time only, new users will get a free $20 entry. And don't forget, if you use promo code GSP, you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Okay, Steph, The San Francisco 49ers are 8-4, and by far the most interesting 8-4 team I think I've ever witnessed based on the injuries. And one thing that I'm going to give the San Francisco 49ers a ton of credit for is this year, they are winning games when things are not perfect.
Yeah.
And many of their games have not been perfect. And it almost felt like anytime something small has gone wrong in past years, last year, not 2023, 2023 was a magic carpet ride. Last year, it would derail the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this 49ers group in 2025, it doesn't matter what happens. Turn the football over a bunch, win the game. Defense give up a bunch of points, win the game. Like they're just finding different ways against different opponents to win games. I am very impressed with the way this team, no matter what is thrown in front of them, no matter what adversity is thrown in front of them, they are winning games, man. What an interesting 8-4 team. That's what I'll say.
Well, even as the season started and even the first 3 games, right? You kind of looked at some of those games and just how the game script went, or just like something that would go wrong, and you thought to yourself, had this game been played in 2024, that's an L, because the 49ers, for the life of them last year, just could not figure out how to get a win without things going perfectly, right? So I think they showed that pretty early in the year, but of course, as the season has gone on, they've been thrown into more adversity, more injuries, right? And they continue to, I think, surprise us. Like 8-4, I think that's a testament to just the complementary football that we're seeing from the 49ers special teams, suddenly, being one of the strong points of this team. Robert Saleh having this defense continuing to roll, even with all the injuries happening there. And, I think the offense headlined by Christian McCaffrey, who, while he doesn't have the same rushing efficiency as he has had in years past, still getting the job done in the only way he knows how. And that's just, both as a pass catcher and a rusher. So, I think it's been awesome to see just like the resiliency that this team has. And, I think it's carried them into wins, just that alone. And hopefully it could carry them to some more and into the playoffs. They're right in it right now.
Yeah, that game basically put them in the 90th percent, playoff probability. And why that is because their primary opponents for those spots are all going to be playing each other. Green Bay and Chicago have to play each other a bunch. They're going to kill each other. They can't just win or that's why that win was so important. The 49ers needed to have that win. And I think they understood that. And as the game went on, and we're going to talk about the game, obviously, as the game went on, that felt like a game where the 49ers said, we cannot let this one get away from us right now because Chicago has to play Green Bay. Green Bay has to play Chicago. They all play Detroit. They're all going to beat up on each other. It doesn't matter who all wins those games. Somebody's going to lose, and they're going to start dropping out of it, right? That's what's got the 49ers in the driver's seat. But let's get right to it. Let's get to the quarterback play. Steph, if we rip the name off of the quarterback, and I told you through 21 games a quarterback had 23 interceptions, you would say?
My God, is that Jimmy Garoppolo? But I mean, not really, right? Like we were all thinking it. Okay, maybe not all of us. Some of us
I was thinking it.
are too optimistic for our own good. But
for one Monday night, I was totally back to I had this PTSD of the helicopters where when the ball left the screen, I got terrified. And that's the first time I've ever felt like that with Brock, and it happened on Monday.
Yeah, I mean that's where things have been trending with Brock Purdy, and it's scary because I think we remember how it felt with the Jimmy Garoppolo era, and we do not want to go back to that. I mean, even just the way the game changed from the offensive play calling standpoint after the 3 interceptions. Even that reminded us of a Jimmy Garoppolo game plan, right? And you could sit there and say, well, it's what worked for them in that first drive, and that is true. But you still typically would have Kyle Shanahan having his quarterback take some shots here and there to, just put the nail in the coffin, I guess you could say. And we never really saw that. Like, he completely, I don't want to say completely took the game out of Brock Purdy's hands, because he did make some throws after that. But I think there was definitely some pulling back a little bit on just how much he wanted Brock Purdy to do. And I think the most concerning thing for me is that, yeah, you mentioned it, like in the last 21 games, 23 interceptions. Well, the 21 game, you're going back to that Ravens game on
Yes.
purpose,
So,
right?
so from the Ravens game
Yeah.
all the way through last year, as many games as he's played into this season, the last 21 games, 23 interceptions in the regular season.
And that feels like that game really did feel like a turning point, right? Because it felt like one for me, like shortly after that. And because I don't think we had seen to that point Brock Purdy struggle like that in a game before. I think in that one moment you could say to yourself, well, damn, the Ravens defense is just that freaking good.
Yeah.
What about the Panthers yesterday?
Right.
God,
Exactly.
what about this Panthers defense, who were missing 2 linebackers? As this game went on, they were missing more guys on the defensive
Exactly.
side of the ball as well. I mean, I don't know what I'm seeing, and what's most concerning for me is that this is a trend now. I
It is a
mean,
trend.
if you look at just this season alone, he's thrown in at least 2 interceptions in 3 of the 4 games he's played. Only one without a pick was in that Arizona game. And then Akash tweeted this earlier: leaders in turnover worthy play rate, according to PFF. JJ McCarthy, who we know
Don't
is
say his name.
awful.
Please don't say his
Spencer
name.
Rattler, who's been since benched, and Brock Purdy with a 5.3% turnover worthy play rate. I mean, that's just not good. And so again, it's a trend. We have a much larger sample size to, I think, support the fact that it's a trend. And I think we are beyond the point of context being an excuse. Because even today, I'm seeing people like give the context. Oh, that one wasn't on Jimmy.
No, Brock Purdy
That one
has to
wasn't
have
on
all.
Brock Purdy.
He has to have all the context, every single. But if that was Jordan Love, who had 23 interceptions through 21 games, 49ers fans would be saying he's trash. Ha 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 ha. Look at him. The context only has to come in when it's about Brock Purdy.
It's and it's pretty bad. And the context is usually this, and we got some of it yesterday, even from Brock, even from Kyle Shanahan, that it was the right read, but it was the right decision, right read, and you just didn't get the pass thrown right. Needs to drive it a little bit more. That in itself is a theme. That in itself is a theme. He does not have the arm to make up for some of the decisions that he makes, and so given that, he either needs to be a little bit smarter and a little more calculated about the passes that he's going to attempt, or we're going to continue to see this being an issue for him. And for people who watched him, even at Iowa State, right, they know this about Brock. This is Brock. Like, they're not surprised by any of this at all, right? And so really maybe the more surprising part was the success he had in 2023, right? But even then, I think we also kind of looked at that time and, maybe could attribute that to defenses not exactly having as much tape on Brock Purdy. Now, once that started changing, you see, defenses kind of knowing where they need to be in order to be at the right spot at the right time for some of these Brock Purdy passes. And now it's turning into interceptions. And even when it's not turning into interceptions, like even in that Arizona game, you saw a few near picks in that one too. Balls bouncing off of defenders' hands. I mean, so that goes back to the turnover worthy play rate as well. That's going to count into that. But yeah, it's concerning. I'm not here to say that it can't improve, but something has to change in order for it to improve. Because if he's just going to keep playing like this and he's going to continue to be this aggressive and while not having like the arm talent to make up for it, then this is what it's going to be.
Nah, it doesn't have to improve, Steph. It has to stop. That's what it has to do. It has to stop. And here's the thing. The parallels between the Baltimore game and this game, right? They're there because of the interception after interception. The difference between the two games is one, like you said, hey, it's Baltimore. They've got all pros at all three levels. Mike McDonald's an amazing defensive coordinator, defensive mind. You can kind of chalk that up to that. Fine. Okay. The difference is when you turn the football over against the Baltimore Ravens, they put the ball in the box. So now you're down 21-7. Now you're down 28-10. So you can't sit there and salt the game away and run the football and dink and dunk and try to. So you have to keep throwing. You have to keep trying to throw downfield to get back in the game. That's when that game snowballs away from Brock Purdy. Now, Monday, the Carolina Panthers are absolutely inept. By the way, whoever it is that perpetuated this narrative that the Carolina Panthers were somehow the Drew Brees-led New Orleans Saints offense because they put up 30 twice on the bum-ass Falcons and all of a sudden we're this offensive juggernaut, please show yourself, because I never bought into that all week. I never understood why we needed to be so afraid of Bryce Young and this offense and, oh my God, they're world beaters. They suck, okay? That's part of this. And when they're not scoring and they're throwing the football back to you, what Kyle Shanahan did was say, okay, Brock, come here. And he turned into, and if you know, you know, it's the this is simple shit playbook that Kyle Shanahan gave to Jimmy Garoppolo in Chicago. Let me set the scene. Halloween, Chicago, I believe it's 2021. Offense isn't flowing right there. Trey Lance is warming up. Kyle Shanahan pulls Jimmy Garoppolo to the sideline and says, come on, man, this is simple shit. He calls run after run after run and tunnel screen to Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel carries that team to get out of there with a win. That's what that turned into. It wasn't a benching, but he absolutely took the ball out of his hands moving forward in that game. Absolutely. But you're only afforded that because the Carolina Panthers are inept on offense. Now, in a Ravens game, when they're scoring and putting the ball in the box, touchdown, 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 you can't do that. So we have to contextualize it that way. Okay. So it doesn't have to improve, Steph. I don't want him throwing just one interception a game. I want it to stop. I want it to stop. Zero. And here's the problem. Because of the physical limitations of Brock, his margins for error are razor thin. What he has to do is anticipate. And if he sees it a moment late, he does not have the arm to get it in there. When you look at the guys with rocket arms, if Josh Allen sees it late, it's a laser still, and it'll get there, and that can compensate for him seeing it late. If Brock sees it late, lets it go late, that's what you're starting to get. And that's the issue. And I want to make sure that we end it this way. This is an evaluation of this game. This is not an indication of how the rest of the season will go. This is a fair, concise observation of how Brock Purdy played, because I'm tired of people saying, well, you praised them the week before and you did it, and now you're saying he had a bad game. He had a bad game, objectively, a bad game. And if you don't think he had a bad game, you're burying your head in the sand. But when you play well, we'll say you played well, just like we did against Arizona. When you don't, we're going to say you don't. But that doesn't mean that he can't turn around and do the funniest thing against Cleveland. Now, look, I'm nervous about that game. But if he goes out there and he puts up 4 touchdowns, I'll say he played well. And the way that you make this game go away, Brock, the way that you make this game go away and become an afterthought in your evaluation of the season is to play better moving forward. Do not turn the football over. Play within yourself. Make sure that you're taking the free money. Stay on schedule. Make sure that you're not putting the ball in harm's way. You can't be a gunslinger when you don't have the gun. That's the part that people don't understand. I'm tired of that. Oh, he's a gunslinger. You have to have the gun. You're missing that part of it. So in this game, the 49ers won, but Brock Purdy played poorly. And that's all. Nothing more. Nothing less. It's cover your ears. Earmuffs, 49ers fans. He had a bad game. Just like everybody does. Josh Allen has played poorly. He played bad against Houston. I have no problem saying that. Lamar Jackson played poorly last week. I have no problem saying that. When you play well, you'll get the praise. When you don't play well, you will get the criticism. And that's how it is, and that's how it should be for every single quarterback. I don't know why we need to pull punches when we go into talking about Brock Purdy. It's not black or white. There's gray area, but when you play poorly, we're gonna call it out. That's it. That's all. It doesn't need to improve. Just stop throwing interceptions, dude. Please.
Yeah. And Jay, you're cutting out quite a bit, so I don't know if you need to hop out and come back in and see
I don't know,
if it
Rob. Do you
helps.
hear that? Is that what he's saying in the private chat?
Yeah. Yeah, you're
All
like
right.
frozen right now.
I don't even know what's
I
going
can
on.
hear
All right.
you, but
All right.
just come back. But just I guess on that note, and I guess Rob, I'll just ask you since you're right here. Do you think that because Brock Purdy had more time to throw, Panthers one of the worst teams when it comes to pressure rate? Brock Purdy had tons of time to get the football out. Do you think him having more time to think was like actually bad for him because he was maybe surveying the field too long and, before he knows it, play's not there anymore?
Well, don't ask me because I literally said the sentence before the game. Panthers can't rush the passer, and I can't see a world where if they don't get pressure on Brock Purdy, he's going to lose the game for the 49ers. And Brock did everything that he damn well could to lose that game yesterday for the Niners. It was unbelievable. And the thing that scares me is I feel like it snowballs on him. He throws one, and then he throws another. Then he's like in his head, and he wants to force a good play to make up for it because, he feels bad because he threw an interception, and he's in quicksand sometimes. And that's what happened against the Ravens. And I thought Jay's point was a good one, that it was happening here. It's just that the Panthers didn't capitalize the way Baltimore did back on Christmas.
Well, yeah, they didn't capitalize, but also let's give credit to the defense because 49ers defense did, I think what they needed to do as well and capitalized on the Panthers' mistakes. And we got Jay back.
Is
Jay,
that better?
You look a little bit better. Yeah, you look a lot better, actually.
I don't know what the hell's going on. But look, bottom line is this, more than anything, it's just you have to be able to call it fairly. Otherwise, you're pushing an agenda. We don't push agendas. We just call it how we see it. When you play well, you'll get the praise. When you don't, we'll say that. But it's not any sort of crystal ball about what it's going to be like moving forward. This is just how you played today. Maybe he doesn't like Monday Night Football. Did we ever think of that stuff?
That seems to be the case because his Monday Night Football stats are atrocious. So
yeah,
might
be that. But let's talk about positives because there are a lot of positives in this game. First of all, nice to see you, Jair Brown. And I am very happy for Tig, man. That was the player that the 49ers believed that they were drafting out of Penn State. A ball hawk, someone who plays fast, downhill, is a thumper. He had a bunch of defensive stops, 2 interceptions. That's why he was the Rose Bowl MVP at Penn State. He looks like he's playing more confident, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the coaching staff has been very confident in him, and they keep pushing him to get out there and play. I am so happy for him. Hopefully, this is his turn the corner, see the ball go through the hoop moment where now he can start to turn into that player. And if he turns into that player that they thought they were getting when they drafted, that's found money in the safety position because we just believe that they were going to have to address it all over again. Let's hope that this continues.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jair Brown, and in particular, this performance from him is the type of return that you want to see on that investment of like pouring in confidence into a player, right? And patience and, hoping that they're going to figure it out and improve. I would say that it was a tough go for Brown at the beginning of the season. I think just for the safeties in general.
Last year as well. It's like, and I keep saying like, gee, why didn't they go out and get like a coverage safety? I sound like a broken record, but all things considered, even with Jair Brown, like that not being the strongest part of his game, like he probably is the 49ers best coverage safety right now. And getting those 2 interceptions, I think shows that he could improve in that area. Right. And he was at the right place at the right time. I think you're right. Like playing with more confidence, playing faster.
I mean, all those things matter. Mustafa as well. Like both of those guys were just like on a tear, and I'd say career game, like by far from Jair Brown, and hopefully like we see better performances. I see a lot of people like saying, there's a comment there. Panthers made this defense look great. Panthers are awful. Like don't get me wrong.
Two things can be true.
Exactly. I look, the Panthers did everything they could to lose this game on the offensive side of the ball. But make no mistake, the 49ers defense capitalized and created opportunities for themselves as well. So yes, both things can be true. I don't want to take away from the 49ers defensive performance and what Tig did and what some of these other guys did just because the Panthers aren't good. I mean, yes, we've been saying the 49ers need to win the games they're expected to. This was a game they were expected to win because of how poor the Panthers are, how bad.
Wait, depending on who you asked. Like Steph, remember, like they're like, oh, they put up 475 yards in 5 quarters against the Atlanta Falcons. Like, again, like miss me with the fact that the 49ers needed to be worried about the Panthers in this one, please.
Yeah, no, I mean, I expected it to be, a much bigger game from the 49ers, but I think the reason that it wasn't was because of the things that happened in the first half on offense, which we just discussed. But like, I think the reason that this game didn't go off the rails for the 49ers is because of what the defense was able to do. And this defense in other games in the secondary have given just about anybody an opportunity to pass the football. Like you could argue that in some games they've even made it easy for teams to pass, right? But we didn't see that. So to me, that looks like an improvement, from this defense. And if they continue to improve and build on it, and Robert Saleh continues to make, lemonade out of lemons, then this is great. And I almost feel like I don't know if the national media is talking about this because I haven't tuned into like ESPN or anything like that, but I kind of feel like this is the type of performance, type of game from Robert Saleh. They're showing him on the sideline all hyped, and this is the kind of game that puts him at the forefront of those head coach conversations at the end of this season. He was already in them, but I don't think he was getting, as much due as probably he could have. And I think this is a game that reminds people, he knows what he's doing.
Somehow with this defense, Robert Saleh has raised his stock without Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. I don't know how that's possible, but he has.
It's a testament to him. I mean,
exactly. I mean, look, the numbers aren't pretty, but look, 4 interceptions in the last 2 games, 5 turnovers in the last 2 games. Are those allowed? Is that allowed? Look, when we're talking about defense, Jair Brown had a really good game. Upton Stout had a really nice play as well too. That is very good. You want to see that as well too. He had some good pressures. Bryce Huff led the team in pressures. I thought who is just flying under the radar now that I've watched the film. This is about 3 straight weeks now. Kalia Davis has really been playing well, getting pressure on the quarterback. From the middle, like he's like tripled his pressure numbers from his entire career in these last 3 games. He has been very good as well. Now, I do have some bad news. And here is where the turning point is. I thought Tatum Bethune was fine. I thought the drop off from Tatum Bethune to Curtis Robinson would be it would be all right. No, it's bad.
There's some bad angles. Missed tackles.
He missed. I don't know how PFF just said he missed 3 tackles. I felt like he missed every single one. Now look, this is it, and I've been back and forth with it, and I've told you why. He hasn't been on the field. It's time to give Nick Martin some mic snaps now. At this point, move him to Mike. Let him play. Let him get some reps in practice. What do you have to lose? And here's why. Curtis Robinson, we know what you are. And it's a great story. But if I'm going to watch somebody whiff on tackle after tackle and it's not in the name of development and it's just a veteran who's making mistakes, I'd rather see Nick Martin out there. I'd rather see Nick Martin play. I guarantee he won't miss all those tackles. Now, look, hopefully Tatum Batoon is back. That's what I came away from with this defense. I'm just like, please, God, let Tatum Batoon come back as fast as possible. The bye week couldn't come at the right time. But if you're going to roll with Curtis Robinson the rest of the way, and let's just say in a worst case scenario, Tatum Batoon is not going to be ready, for a while, dude, at what point do you just put Nick Martin at Mike and just give him some burn and get him out there? Because you're not learning anything with Curtis Robinson. Like, now I'm telling you that you need to get Nick Martin on the field because now this is ridiculous. You're literally playing everyone but him. I know for a fact that he won't be as bad as Curtis Robinson was on Monday night.
I mean, Curtis Robinson is your third string.
Of course.
There's no allegiance to him to keep him out there either.
Exactly.
This isn't some roster politics thing playing out. I think you keep a short leash on Curtis Robinson going forward, and in the meantime, you get Nick Martin prepared, right? Because I don't know the situation if Nick Martin is getting Mike snaps, right? Like if he is in practice, then great. Then you feel like you can put him out there as soon as Curtis Robinson makes a mistake. I don't know how soon that would be that they feel that, with the practice reps that he's getting, he could be ready to command the defense basically. But I like what I've seen from Nick Martin, even just on special teams, right?
Yeah.
He
knocked out a fumble. Yeah.
They recovered it, of course, but those are the types of plays that you want to see. And it's the instinctual type. He's a very instinctual player. You could do a lot worse than someone who just is a headhunting kind of linebacker like he is. And yeah, I think get him ready. Get him ready because, yes, you don't know how long Bethune is going to be out. It was a high ankle sprain, right? So he could be out for, what? 3 weeks. At least you have the bye week in between that, and maybe he can come back for the Titans game. I wouldn't expect him back this week. I think that's too soon unless he's got Wolverine blood. But yeah, in the meantime, I would look to get Nick Martin ready. And in any case, I think you want to just get him that experience because you never know what else could happen, if there's injuries anywhere. And what sort of value do you get from a guy who suddenly has practice reps at all 3 linebacker spots? Now you're playing with some money there. So yeah, I think that's the way to go for the 49ers. And yeah, hopefully we do see Nick Martin soon if Curtis Robinson continues to struggle like we saw on Monday, because again, it's not like it was some really good offense. Rico Dowdle's a good running back, but damn. Too many missed tackles.
Yeah, unblocked missed tackles. Absolutely unblocked missed tackles. It's not even like there was a guy on your hip or something like that.
No.
Literally, I got you. Hey, where'd he go? No. We're not doing that, okay? We're not doing that, especially when the competition gets larger. But get well soon, Tatum Batoon. But if not, get Nick Martin on the field, man, because I'd rather see him, miss those tackles because I don't think he can play as poorly. Steph, if I told you of the top 6 highest graded offensive players on the San Francisco 49ers, 5 of them would be offensive linemen, what would you say?
That'd be okay. With this game in mind, I think I could believe it just because, again, the Panthers are really bad at pressure rate. And some of the run blocking that we saw in this game was pretty damn good, especially on McCaffrey's, what was it, the 12-yard rushing touchdown that he had.
Are you about to praise Jake Brendel?
I'm gonna praise all of them.
No, because he really he
sealed that one. No, he sealed that one. And yeah, I'm all for giving guys credit where it's due, just as well as we, give them a hard time when they struggle. So yeah, credit to Brendel on that one. There were a couple of times where he struggled against Derek Brown as well, but Brown's a good player.
He's good.
So yeah. But yeah, no, that is surprising, Jay. Even still, for all of them, the whole offensive line.
Mm-hmm. And remember, we have 6 offensive linemen playing because we are playing split the snaps with Spencer Burford and Ben Barch. I will say this.
I guess.
Look, I don't have to understand it as long as it works. And Spencer Burford was very good.
I won't ask any questions.
Right. Spencer Burford was very good on Monday. He was very good at 35 snaps between him and Ben Barch. He was very good. He was the left guard that was one of the 5 and the 6. Daniel Brunskill. Woo. Colton McKivitz, highest graded run blocker. The biggest development. And I think this offensive line since week 9 has gelled very well and played very well. You know, obviously you can't really get to that when the 49ers got blown out by the Rams. You're not going to heap praise on the offensive line just because of how that game went. Dominic Pooney's turned the corner. 100%.
Yeah, that's been big.
That's huge. He's fully healthy. Since week 9, he's given up 1 pressure and 1 hurry in every game. That's all since week 9. He's completely turned the corner. And I believe he is the 7th highest graded guard in the NFL right now since week 9. He has completely turned the corner. That is a very good development and just proof that he was playing through an injury. Trent Williams is Trent Williams, obviously. But yeah, Spencer Burford had a very good game. Watching the tape, he was very good in this game. Colin McKivitz, highest graded run blocker. Shout out to the offensive line. You know, we have to give them credit. Since week 9, they have been great. Now, batten down the hatches because the guy who is looking to break the sack record, he's on your head right now on Sunday. So Godspeed, you know, but we'll worry about that when we get there. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, shout out to you guys. Really, you know, again, it's you guys. It's always you two. And when this game went to, you know, the strip down game plan, it was run the football with Christian McCaffrey. It was play action boots to George Kittle. It was throws on soft coverage, right? You know, like they stripped away any downfield throws. It was kill the clock. Let's chip away at this thing. Let's move down the field. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle were the ones that were engineering that. 9 touches for Christian McCaffrey in the first drive of the game. So much for saving him. I do want to give praise to Brian Robinson. Every time he touches the football, it looks like he's going for about 6 or 7, and he's either breaking tackles or falling forward. Guy runs angry, man. So shout out to him as well too. I want to make sure that we get the positives out of the way because everybody is hyper focused on the elephant in the room is, you know, how Brock Purdy played. But there was a lot of good here. And the reason that the 49ers were able to dominate this game is because there was more good than bad in this one. You're just not going to get away turning the football over that many times every week and turning it into the wins. But, you know, it is what it is. The 49ers found another way to win. So shout out to Christian McCaffrey, who Christian McCaffrey leads the NFL in receptions. I don't understand it.
A running back.
A running back. A running back. A running back. Not Jamar Chase, not Justin Jefferson, not Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's literally like he's not on this planet right now. It's Christian McCaffrey. Insane. This season, again, this is going to go down as one of the most interesting seasons, I think, in the Kyle Shanahan era, just based on how they've been winning, the adversity that's thrown at them. And, you know, just this season has just been bonkers, up and down. The 49ers have won 2 in a row, though. And they get, you know, Cleveland. So I don't really want to, not too much on Cleveland right now. You know, I kind of want to just enjoy my Thanksgiving and this week, you know, like not too much on that.
Okay, so that's how you feel about it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we've got time to talk about it. I'll get to the preview on Friday. Don't look at the weather. You know, and forget about, you know, who the defensive coordinator is for Cleveland. And, you know, you might feel a lot better about this game, but we'll get to that when we get to that. You know, by the way, you and I were talking on Twitter. The San Francisco 49ers' last win in Cleveland was November 11th, 1984. For reference, the president of the United States was Ronald Reagan. I don't know what to do with that information. Let it be known that Unc, your man Jason, was born 6 days prior to that last win. That's how long ago. Damn, Unc. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Just one of those crazy stats. Couldn't believe it when I saw that.
No, it's definitely crazy. And yeah, again, if you don't want to get too deep into it, that's fine. It's Tuesday. We got a long week ahead of us of
Enjoy the
previewing
win
this
today.
one.
Today's Victory Tuesday.
Yeah,
We
enjoy the
stress
win.
ourselves
Like,
out.
we still got to be
Yeah.
happy, right,
Yeah.
about this. But I'm
Yeah.
going to just say, like, right now, it just looks like a recipe for disaster for the 49ers offense in particular. On defense, like if you look at the Browns offense and you think about the fact Shador Sanders is going to be starting, like, I mean, I think the 49ers defense could be okay.
Yeah.
But the question is more so the offense. What are they going to be able to do in this one? What is Brock Purdy going to do? What is Kyle Shanahan going to do? Is Christian McCaffrey going to have the same type of game he had this past week? I don't know. Is offensive line gonna have the same game they had this past week? I don't know. And yes, I did take a peek at the weather, and as of Tuesday, it's not looking like a good opportunity for Brock Purdy to bounce back. I'll just say that.
Okay, optimism is this. Okay, at least it's not rain. It's snow. So snow and rain is different.
I saw rain. I saw showers. That's what I saw.
I saw snow. But it is what it is. Let me see. Rob. With the AccuWeather forecast, it does look like precipitation 40% is not bad. Light rain.
It is a 10 a.m. game too, so maybe
1 p.m.
Oh, 1 p.m. their time. Yeah, that's right. Early body clock game for the 49ers, though. We love those.
On a short week. Rain scares me more. Rain scares me more than snow, right?
Yeah, fair.
Because even remember Buffalo last year, where Christian McCaffrey, unfortunately, he PCL injury and everything. Brock got hurt in that game as well too. Brandon Aiyuk had to come in. When it's snowing and there's snow on the ground, that favors the offenses because defenses have to kind of tiptoe around. Offenses can be more deliberate and run the football. Christian McCaffrey was having a great game in that game. Deebo Samuel had a long return. So I think snow would be better than rain. But we'll see. Regardless, that is Sunday. But again, it's Victory Tuesday, so just just enjoy the win. I was told, Steph, that Rob has a little bit of Fact or Fiction for us to finish out. It's everybody's favorite segment. It's sweeping the nation. So Rob, fire away. Fact or Fiction is back in this one. Fact or Fiction, the best unit on the 49ers is the special teams.
Fiction. Oh my God, this fucking guy. Don't interrupt me with that, Rob.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Oh okay, can I talk about
update?
Guys?
Oh my God, nobody has fun like us, man. I don't care what anybody says. Listen, if we're not having fun talking about football, then we need to stop talking football. Go ahead, Steph. That's it. Enough, Rob. Let her talk.
Enough. I'm gonna go fiction because they're not the best unit, but they have been the most consistent, and that does count for something as well. And that's crazy to say, right? They had a slow start to the season. We were wondering with this new special teams coordinator, like, should he be fired as well? Yeah, what do you do here? But he has certainly figured it out as the season has gone on. Again, like, I want to reiterate, I think the kicking situation being much better has transformed special teams and the positive EPA numbers in a good way. And also, of course, like Sky Moore has been a really big positive for the 49ers too. I know he had some flubs, at some moments in the first half of the season as well. But, I think he's really come on these last couple games, and the 49ers special teams is helping the 49ers get favorable field position. And that is all you can ask for from your special teams.
Yeah. I'm going to say fiction because this better not be true. And it has to be the offense that is the best unit on the team. Even with all the interceptions yesterday, the 49ers were moving the football and doing whatever they wanted and imposing their will. They should have put up 35, 40 points, like easy on this defense, without the interceptions. But special teams, is such an important part. And I know that we make fun of specialists. Well, I do. But I'm talking about with field position. And the 49ers are getting into proper field position and they're stopping people from getting into good field position with their special teams coverage. And it's refreshing. Sky Moore has been great. Sky Moore almost returned a kick and ended the streak, right? What is it? It's still Ted Ginn, right? 2012.
Yeah.
So he almost ended the streak. He had another good return this week. You see Nick Martin flying down on special teams, knocking the ball out. It's a very good unit and it is refreshing. But when you need a jolt, when you need a spark, and it has been Brian Robinson as well too. I want to make sure we don't leave him out either. Yeah. When you need a jolt, when you need a big play, when you need something to kind of spark your team, it has been the special teams unit that has kind of, changed momentum or set the 49ers up. I'm going to say fiction, but this is the best special teams unit, hands down, under Kyle Shanahan, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rob, what's the next one? Fact or fiction, Alfred Collins was the best 49ers draft pick this year. He had a pretty good eat. He's coming along. I will give him that. He's coming along.
He's I'm gonna just say fiction because I don't know if I don't know if we can say this, but I do think he's shown the biggest improvement, I think, from just when he started, even in training camp to right now.
Right.
And Upton Stout has showed some good things as well, but
that's who I would have said.
Yeah, but I think Collins most improved for sure.
No Jordan James love? Sorry, I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. I just want people to know. Yeah, I just want people to understand that, when you're like, where's Jordan James? If we're talking about that Brian Robinson can't even get snaps, what's the point of bringing up Jordan James? He's never going to see the field. It's McCaffrey and it's Robinson. That's it. So I just thought that was funny. All right. What's the next one? This is definitely fiction. It is Upton Stout. Good call. Fact or fiction, Ricky Pearsall still isn't healthy. This is fiction. He's healthy. They're just not connecting right now.
Yeah, that's fiction.
Yeah. We are seeing steady improvement. He had 0 yards on 1 catch against Arizona, 6 yards on Monday. So that means he's due for 12 against the Cleveland Browns, if I'm doing my math correctly. No, I mean, honestly, I still see a guy who's getting open. The interception in the end zone, he's open. Brock Purdy has to float that thing towards the back of the end zone. He didn't throw like a bullet, but he's got to get air under that thing and put it up, right? And he was open. There's other times too, even in the Arizona game, Brock missed him. Well, Brock didn't miss him, but Ricky Pearsall shakes off the line and he's wide open for a touchdown in the end zone. Pressure gets in his face and he has to move off the spot. Ricky Pearsall's fine. I'm not gonna overreact to all this, but I would like to see someone else get involved other than Juwan Jennings, especially because Ricky Pearsall is getting himself open.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird, just the misconnections that have taken place so far. And maybe it's just the fact that, with the time away for both Pearsall and Purdy, because they did have a pretty strong connection in camp, but maybe with both of them dealing with injury and just having time away from each other, I don't know, just like couples, they drift apart with distance. So maybe some of that has played into it, and hopefully that just improves with more time and practice together.
Yeah, and a whole half of this game was dedicated to running the football and throwing the football underneath. How was that? That's not Ricky Pearsall's fault. So I'm not panicking on that. I think better days are ahead for Ricky Pearsall. Is that Sunday? I don't know, but better days are ahead. Rob, do you have any more? Fact or fiction, Mac Jones gives the 49ers the best chance to win on Sunday. My God, you are trying to get us absolutely murdered on 49ers Twitter. That pause, the silence is deafening, Steph.
No. I mean, we were literally right before Brock Purdy comes back. We were literally saying why we felt that Brock Purdy gives this offense a slightly higher ceiling.
Yep.
And I still do believe that at this moment in time. The problem is, between the two, Brock Purdy is also capable of providing the lowest floor with the carelessness of the ball and the interceptions that he throws. I mean, that's just the truth of it. Mac Jones is safe, but yeah, I mean, you can win some games with safe. So I just don't know if he gives them the best chance to win. That being said, if Brock Purdy has a horrible game, and of course this one comes across our screen after a 3-interception performance,
Rob knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it makes it a little harder to argue our original point, I guess. But I'm gonna stay with that. Like, Brock still gives the team the higher ceiling, which means that he does give the 49ers the best chance to win, but he also provides the lowest floor. So make it that what you will. That wasn't the question, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna say fiction because the last week we were joking around like, well, I guess Mac ain't getting his job back. One
Right.
game isn't gonna, change me that way. Although I'm not gonna hold you, Steph. I definitely wanted Kyle Shanahan to kind of sit Brock Purdy in this game.
Just wanted that toe to act up a little bit, like.
No. I just wanted him to sit him down. When I said I wanted him benched, I didn't want him benched for the season.
You said you wanted him benched?
I said bench him. After that third interception, it looked like his head was spinning. It looked like he had not played a down of football in his life.
I said
what?
Oh, go ahead.
No, and I just wanted him to settle him down. Just like say, listen, just relax. Max got it. We'll get back to it next week. But look, they were afforded the luxury to be able to go to the Jimmy Garoppolo game plan and not force the ball like they did in Baltimore against Baltimore because Carolina was so inept. So essentially, it wasn't a benching, but it was Kyle Shanahan saying, no, the leash is super short. We're not throwing anything down the field. I don't trust you today. You don't have it. Just much like a pitcher. If a pitcher's curveball's not working, stop throwing it, right? So he saw the path to victory. He said, let's get out of here with a victory and we'll worry about next week. And that's what he did. So when I said during the game, sit him, it wasn't sit him for the season. It was watching his head spin and him look like a guy who just was like, what the hell's going on? Like he's never played football in his life. And that look, and then after the interceptions, he throws one right to another guy that goes right through his hands. And I'm
after that one, he wanted to throw fourth. So after that one, I said put him in a straitjacket. I don't know if that's the same thing from what you were saying, Jay, but yeah, I was just about done at that point as well.
Yeah, so I just look. It is what it is. The 49ers, Kyle Shanahan did what he had to do to win the game. And that's why he's doing such a phenomenal job this year coaching. He's able to strip it down. He calmed him down and he got him, and he got his team on track. So, yeah, but the Brock Purdy still gives the 49ers the best chance to win every Sunday, So, moving forward. Rob, what's the next one? Shedeur Sanders will be the best QB on the field on Sunday. Oh my God, yo!
Come on, Rob.
Oh
Why do you
my
hate us?
God,
Why do you hate us?
Man. So I will say this before I pass it to you. Shedeur Sanders threw a 50-yard touchdown. I just watched that game on film too because I'm trying to prepare for the Browns. Threw a 50-yard touchdown on the run. He threw a screen pass to Quinton Junkin for like 60 yards for a touchdown. Or was it Dylan Sampson? I'm sorry.
Sampson.
And that was like all of his yardage. Everything else was in the middle of the field. I was happy to see him play well because there's so many people that want to see him fail for whatever reason. Like, I have no dog in the fight. I really don't care whether Shedeur Sanders is good or not. He doesn't play for my team. But let's pump the brakes. He definitely wasn't like groundbreaking. Just because he was the first Browns quarterback in 30 years to win his first NFL start doesn't mean that we need to automatically anoint him. It just means the bar is in hell when it comes to the Cleveland Brown quarterback position. So yeah, I'm gonna say fiction on this one because if Brock's not better than Shedeur Sanders this week, then we've got another thing to talk about.
I think Brock Purdy is capable of having another awful game on Sunday. But if Shedeur Sanders looks better than Brock, that would just not be good. I could see it, honestly, just because of like the matchup. Shedeur's going up against the 49ers defense. Brock Purdy's going up against the Browns defense. So, the math there says that this could very well happen. But I still think, the 49ers defense could make life difficult for Sanders, enough so that Brock Purdy should be able to be the best QB. But it's going to be ugly, I think, from both quarterbacks. Like, we are in for an atrocious game on Sunday.
Like I said, not too much on Sunday. But I want to say this, though. If we have concerns about Brock and in the weather, why don't we have those concerns with Shedeur Sanders, who doesn't have a strong arm himself and isn't athletically, like, super gifted? Like, why is it?
Does he have bigger hands?
Doesn't matter. He has a noodle arm. What are we like now? What are we like? Both teams have to play. Shedeur Sanders does not have a rocket arm.
No, I mean, he doesn't. But the reason that rain plays a factor in for Brock Purdy, at least, is because he doesn't seem to have like that same sort of grip on the ball as you would like, and that I think has to do with his hand size and him just being smaller. I don't know about Sanders' situation. I know his arm isn't strong either, but
I will say
grip
this.
The ball?
I will say this. In 2023, that game, Brock was struggling with accuracy. He had a gotta have it drive at the end of that game against Cleveland, and he set up that stupid kicker to win the game, and he missed it.
That's right, dude. That game pissed me off. He did actually. Like, it was a bad game, but he did have that drive.
What would we be saying about the weather?
At least we have Matt Gay now, right?
Yeah, I mean, but what would we be saying about the weather and Brock Purdy if the idiot kicker can make a kick? Because he literally drove them down the field
when the same thing.
They drove him down. He drove them down the field in a and the game was not going his way. A gotta have it drive. And he went straight down. And the idiot kicker missed. He who shall not be named. So I think it's a little bit from column A and column B when it comes to the weather thing, right? The narrative would not be as loud if the idiot makes the kick. So, whatever. Don't show it.
It still doesn't take away the fact that he played poorly in the rain. I get he had a game-winning drive. Still played poorly.
Don't show it.
Also, if we lose monetization on this video because
Rob wanted to show that kick,
I will throw hands.
Oh yeah, 100%. I will say this. What's concerning about that game is, do you remember who the quarterback was for Cleveland in that 2023 game?
Who was it?
PJ Walker.
Oh my God. What the hell, dude?
I don't know how that makes you feel,
how did they not win that game? I'm pissed. I'm more pissed.
You're pissed off all over it? Well, remember, Trent Williams and Debo got hurt during the game. Trent Williams was fighting before the game, but yeah, I was thinking back to that game, and I just thought about it right now, and I was like, I forgot PJ Walker started in that game, man. That's hilarious. Rob, do you have any more fact or fiction, or is that it? Are we done? Kyle Shanahan will give Myles Garrett the Aaron Donald treatment on Sunday. Are we getting Daniel Brunskill back to lock him up? Because that's what the Aaron Donald treatment used to be.
Well, yeah. If you just mean that they're gonna go straight at him and run straight at him, then maybe. But I don't know. Some guys you could do that against. I don't know if Myles Garrett's one of those guys.
Oh God, I don't want to think about this.
Myles Garrett is the perfect player. Like,
yeah, I don't want to think about this
game.
He's
literally a creative player.
I don't think he's had like more sacks over 3 weeks than the 49ers have had on the season. I don't want to think about this game, man. Stop, Rob. Look, I guess my best strategy would be pray. Praying might help. I think Myles Garrett is one of those one-of-one players that, like I like to say all the time, right? When in basketball, when Steph Curry, goes for 45 points on your head, the defense and the opponent isn't like, man, who's number 30? I didn't see that coming. No, it's because he's in a world of his own. And that's what Myles Garrett is. There is no stopping Myles Garrett. There is no slowing him down. The problem is that you've got to keep him limited to the point where those sacks aren't strip fumbles or they're ending drives, and he's gonna get his. He's Myles Garrett. Like I said on the last show, he's the best I ever seen. Sorry. Every week he just keeps on. He's on his way to breaking the sack record.
Yeah, he's 5 sacks away. He could feasibly get it on Sunday. Like, that is in the realm of possibility when we're talking about Myles Garrett.
Right. And last time that they played, Trent Williams left the game, but the problem is that Myles Garrett doesn't line up one place. He's going to line up everywhere. So everyone has their work cut out for them. Mason Graham has been playing well. Malik Collins has been playing well for them. I don't piss me off, Malik Collins. Like, seriously, man. But they've got a very good defense. I mean, they've got the number 2 overall defense, and Houston was the number 1. So the 49ers will go up against the 2 top defenses in the NFL. But the idea that the 49ers are going to stop Myles Garrett, I think we should take out of your mind. You just have to try to limit the damage because he's just one of those one-on-one players, and he's just going to get his. And again, that's no indictment on the 49ers offensive line. Every single offensive line that faces him has a problem guarding the best player that I've ever seen at that position. So it's not an indictment. Those guys get paid too. That's the other thing. Like, it's not hard
and he got paid a lot.
Yeah. Well, he said he wanted to win, which, what a liar you are. So yeah, Malik Collins' revenge game on deck. Oh God. Rob, do you have any other fact or fiction, or are we done? And maybe we can get into, like, real quick, because I know it's like past an hour. We can get into some Brandon Aiyuk talk.
Yeah.
We're good. All right. Steph, I don't know what's going on. I haven't known what's been going on for weeks. All I know is my bullshit meter has been going off all year. Maybe it's the New York.
You called it.
Maybe it's the New York in me. But I can smell bullshit a mile away. And every single time that Brandon Aiyuk was brought up to either John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan, it's word salad, it's bullshit. So the problem is this. Now I have an issue with listening to John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan speak and taking it as gospel for this reason. You voided his guarantees in July, and you went to the podium every single day and was asking, like, yeah, everything's great, and, he's on schedule, and, we're hoping to have him back. And then as soon as this story comes out by Diana Rossini and Mike Silver, now it's like, yeah, well, that definitely happened, and, it's like when you catch someone cheating in a relationship. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you sorry because of what you did, or are you sorry because you got caught? And where would we be if Diana Rossini and Mike Silver didn't come out with this? So, pardon me if now every time John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan gets to a podium that I do not take what they say at face value. And I have lost all trust in anything that they have to say moving forward because they withheld all of this and just made it seem like everything was going according to plan in roses when it has been nothing but weird. And the word that I continue to use is bizarre. What do you think, Steph?
I think I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I wanted to believe them, so I did for the most part. I was a little suspicious, but again, just wanted to believe them. This is why I end up in relationships way much longer than I should be.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's
break this down. But
let's break it down.
Really, it's just that I should be familiar with the 49ers game by now.
Yeah.
And you're right. Sometimes you can kind of get a sense for when they don't want to give too much information on something, and especially if they're saying the same thing every single time. But what I thought about that, Jay, was just that, hey, like, there really isn't an update on Brandon Aiyuk. Like, that's just how I was just like, oh, maybe he's just not ready to come back yet because that he's getting closer. They said that like what feels like 5 weeks in a row, right? Getting closer. And then along with these reports, then other reports start flooding in, right? That, he hasn't been cleared yet medically. So in some way, like, technically they're right. But what incentive does Brandon Aiyuk have at this point to be medically cleared and then have to play at all this season?
Would you play for a team that
That
voided your
is exactly
guarantees?
what I'm saying. You would not. You would not do it because the risk of injury is too much. And he knows that. The 49ers know that, but they wouldn't care at this point. They've already gotten their money back for the 2026 season. So it wouldn't be a huge risk for them, especially seeing as how they seem content on trading or not trading him, just flat out releasing him after this season. That's a part that I find, I guess, craziest in all this, that I thought that maybe they would look to trade him. Now, the report of this, I'm sure they're thrilled that all of this came out, because had it stayed on the hush hush, they could have probably looked to trade him again at the end of the season and just pretend everything was rainbows and it just didn't work out, or like, he just wanted to protect himself. They could have come up with anything. But now that all of this has come out, and now the reason that he's not playing. I mean, if I'm a team who's interested in a wide receiver, I've been interested in Brandon Aiyuk in the past, I am not touching this with a 10-foot pole. And maybe there's only few teams who would be interested in Brandon Aiyuk right now. At least Brandon Aiyuk is happy. I mean, someone should be happy in this whole situation. What's weird, though, is that the 49ers probably happy, too, because they got some money back. And at the end of the day, that's really all they care about in this entire situation. Almost like they didn't have to sign him to begin with. But, I digress. And it's weird. The 49ers have been a part of a lot of weird things, haven't they? Like, it's very, very odd, bizarre situations. Most of them stemming from contracts, and I don't know who to blame for that, but Kyle Shanahan was the one that, ran to to John Lynch's offense to make sure a trade didn't happen. And now we're here. So I don't really know what to do with any of this information. I don't even know if the 49ers know what the hell they're going to do with this. But again, it seems like Brandon Aiyuk has one foot out the door at this point, which would explain why he wouldn't appeal or argue against his 2026 guarantees getting voided. That's a lot of money. And it's a lot of money that him and his agent fought for. So to not even put up a fight is strange. But I think it came with the caveat of, I'll let you have that money if I could just freaking leave after the season's over.
So, a few things. Steph, now that I'm on the other side and I'm covering other teams, for extra work, if I ever complain ever again about, hey, this team is driving me nuts, or, it's so hard to cover this team, please slap me. Because I've been on the other side and I'm covering other teams, and I love it here.
It's normal.
I love it here. This team is a non-stop content machine.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I have to write 400 words a day about the Minnesota Vikings or New Orleans Saints. God help me. I love coming back here. I never want to leave. Now, here's the thing. The San Francisco 49ers played damage control this weekend when they said, we still want to get him on the field. Well, why do you want to get him on the field? Well, one, it certainly couldn't hurt to have your best separator at the position out there, especially when you're looking to make a playoff run. But the 49ers are like, wait a minute, why are we going to let this guy walk when we can kind of showcase him and hope that somebody sends us picks? But you know what the problem is, Steph? You had a trade on the table for him before he signed the contract. I'll go one step further. I was at the Combine. Teams wanted to trade for him at the Combine without seeing him play it down, without knowing where his timeline was, and you still didn't do it. If we get all these reports of regret, buyer's remorse, you had many times where you could have moved this contract, even at the Combine, when there was no proof that his timeline was moving, that he would be back to full speed. People were still waiting and trying to take a chance. And now, this situation is so far gone. He said, keep the money because I want you to release me so I can go sign with Washington and go see my old buddy Adam Peters. I want to pick my team. And Brandon Aiyuk is not incentivized to get on the field, one, for injury risk, and two, to help the 49ers recoup a pick for a team that they have to choose to trade with. So this situation is downright bizarre. Doesn't make sense. Unbelievable how this is played out. I've never seen a situation like this. And if you're a wide receiver, and I'm talking to you, Ricky Pearsall, if you're a wide receiver who is hoping to get a second contract, Godspeed. This is never going to happen. This is never going to happen again. And you know what else? That's another indictment on the front office. First round wide receiver won't get a second contract. And you invested significant draft capital in him. I don't know what to say. This team is the gift that keeps on giving, but they are also at times the most perplexing franchise when it comes to dealings with free agents and extensions and playing things out in the media. Sometimes this team operates like a dysfunctional franchise, but they win above all somehow. I don't get it. They win in spite of some of these insane things that happen in the media. Can't believe it, man. This is one of the more bizarre things that I've ever seen play out. And good luck in Washington next year, Brandon Aiyuk. Yeah, you're not going to play a snap this year, and I don't know why they keep trying to perpetuate that.
Yeah, I think one of the things that does sort of bother me about all this, and the 49ers immediately moving to damage control and immediately putting it all on Brandon Aiyuk, and we want him to play this year. It's all up to him at this point. When the discourse and the fan sentiment around him is already so horrible, and some of that may be a little bit warranted, some of that we could probably put on Brandon Aiyuk. I think no sides are innocent in all this, but that's the part that bothers me, is that we're not getting Brandon Aiyuk's side. I know the 49ers did some shady shit.
We're not going to get the real story of this until the guy writes the book.
He's going to be on some podcast like next year after he signs with another team, and we're going to get the tea, and I'm going to be seated. But in the meantime, we only got the 49ers side of it. And I don't know for a fact that the 49ers did something shady, but I am just assuming, because after getting a deal as big as Brandon Aiyuk got, and for there to still be turmoil in so much contention in this relationship, I think something had to have happened to set that off, probably from both sides. I mean, so yeah, I guess in some ways we could have seen it from a mile away that this was never going to work out between both of these parties, and I'm just ready for it to be over, so both sides can move the hell on. But unfortunately, yeah, for the 49ers, like, that's going to mean investing more into your wide receiver position. They're not bringing Juwan Jennings back. At least I don't.
You sure?
I don't think they would. I don't think they would, and I don't think they should. But with like the up and down season that he's had, maybe suddenly
his market is depressed a little bit.
It's depressed. It's like playing right into the 49ers' hands.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, hey, buddy, here's $10 million. Come on back. We can use you now, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, that's
but they're still going to use a draft pick on a wide receiver.
Of course.
And
I
would think pretty early. And that's unfortunate because, I look at this team and I think you got some other needs as well. But this is how they want to play it. So they're gonna lay in the bed they made.
Yeah, look. If I ever say, like, hey, man, I'm tired of this or whatever, this team is giving me a headache, snap me right out of it, because, my God, man, this team is nonstop. We're never going to get the right answer to this, or the correct answer, or the real answer, until someone writes a tell-all book. Because, like everybody says, there's their side, his side, and the truth. And that's right in the middle. And we're never going to know really what happens. So, and we might as well address it since we talked about Juwan Jennings. Someone invest in family jewels in Jennings. Listen, our friendly neighborhood crash out actually had a valid reason to crash out this time. And he's going to get fined, but he's not going to get suspended. Trevon Moehrig did. But you know what? generally, I'm like, control yourself, Jawan. This time, 100% valid crash out. You don't do that to a man. And if somebody did that to you in the streets, you got to catch the hands.
Oh, like that's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. Yo, bro went full Mark Hamill in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie where they're all right. Oh God, I hope Rob could find it or whatever. But
Sure, Rob is
Mark Hamill plays a character in the movie where he has like a giant hand and all he does is punch people in the junk. Like that's literally what Trevor Morrig did, like right there. So look, it is what it is, but that's a valid crash out, man. Juwan Jennings, I completely support you, my friend. I think you don't absolutely let that happen at all. So all right, guys, we appreciate you joining us for this Tuesday evening. I hope you enjoyed your Tuesday evening. I hope you guys, enjoy your Thanksgiving as well. I hope you guys are safe, spending time with your family. If there's someone that you need to call that you haven't spoken to, please do. Time is short. That's the only thing that really matters is time and making sure that you let everybody know that, you're giving them the flowers where you can. So, Steph, I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving. We're getting close to the end of the year, so another year doing this as well with you, which has been great. But I hope you enjoy your family. I hope you enjoy your food and everything. Enjoy your football as well, too. So, again, like and subscribe to this video on YouTube. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Gold Standard Podcast Network wherever you get your audio podcast. Make sure you follow Steph on Twitter at Steph49K. Follow me on Twitter at JasonAponte2103. And, we both have YouTube channels. You might want to check those out as well, too. But, Steph, I appreciate you as always. I had a great time here with you, a little bit longer than we thought, but you know what? We had a lot to get to and talk about. So for Steph, for Jay, we're out of here.
peace.